Hello, and welcome to another episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
And Brian Pacifume.
Hi.
I wanted to start off the show by saying thank you to all the old listeners, all the new listeners. It's been nice. There's been an increase in downloads by a lot, and it just goes to show that once we started actually putting episodes out,
more people listened.
People came back and were listening. We had a 6-month stretch there that was kind of off for us, and we had been regular for over 2 years. What?
Been regular.
What?
It's like pooping.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, so now we have regular content coming out again, and people are listening, and we picked up some people, and it's been really nice to check the downloads and see where we're at. We would do it if we had one listener. We'd do it if we had 20,000 listeners. It's just.
But thank you.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. You listen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I don't believe him. Anyways, the other day was DC. What was it called?
FanDome.
FanDome. And I was reluctant to
participate
because I felt like when you fire and lay off
a million people,
a ton of people right before you do, what? I got to say something. Somebody posted Jim Lee's commission rates.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen what they are?
No.
Would you care to make a guess?
Like
four digits?
We'll say for a
what size?
A sheet. Like, a regular
sheet of paper?
8
by 10?
So 8 by 10.
Okay.
Two figure. I wish I would have taken a screenshot of it.
$3,500.
For 2 characters on one page. I'm going to try to find it.
$3,500.
What do you think, Brian?
That's my guess. Price is right.
I just say it's in the 4 digits.
Let me see if I can find it. Because it was... Okay. 11 by 17.
Okay.
Penciled and inked by Jim Lee. 11 by 17. That's full figure, one character with limited backgrounds for $15,000.
What?
If more than one character or extra backgrounds or recreation of other covers not drawn by Jim will be $20,000 to $25,000.
People actually buy these things?
Yeah,
hey man,
Jim Lee.
Up to if they have the money to spend, and
it makes you wonder because years back he was hiding those drawings at Comic-Con, remember?
Yeah.
So then 9 by 12, waist on up figure with limited background is $5,000 to $10,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. Small headshot, $1,000. Blank cover comic, only bust shot with no background, $4,000.
Oh my God.
And $8,000 if it's a wraparound. That's insane.
That is insane. Now, how much time does he actually spend on these?
Oh, a lot. I mean, he is Jim Lee, and I get it. I don't know. You pay somebody what they're worth, and if people are paying that for his stuff, then it's worth it.
I guess so.
He's donated a lot of money to comic book shops. He started the thing where he was drawing and auctioning stuff off, and he was giving the money to comic book shops that needed it.
Oh, to survive right now?
Yeah, and then the person that won the auction, they'd get to pick what the next next drawing was.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, he really tried to help, so you got to give him some credit.
Nice.
But I had a hard time. I had a hard time wanting to talk about DC FanDome because they just laid off so many people and just closed departments and stuff. And I get what kind of time we're in and things are rough and stuff like that. But I didn't hear about, and it's the same with every other company. I didn't hear about any CEOs cutting their paychecks.
Oh, no, they get their bonuses too.
You never will.
They always do.
If you said, if a CEO and, the board or whoever, they're like, hey, we're taking a 20% pay cut and you still have to lay people off or 50%, whatever. They're taking a pay cut, but they're still having, it's easier to swallow that pill than it's like, hey, we're going to keep all our money, but we're going to lay off 30% of the staff.
See, that's where the problem is, because when you do those types of things, when you get rid of the ground floor, that's your support. That's your base for the company. So if you keep all your important people that are getting paid probably a fuck ton of money that they don't need, but you won't keep your foundation intact, it's not going to bode well in the near future for you.
Yeah.
because all those people moving those parts for you are no longer there.
Yeah.
And the basic jobs are going to get done.
The money's made off the backs of the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
Absolutely.
Do you feel that's going to dissuade people from applying for jobs or saying, hey, I work for DC, like I'm just going to get in?
I think that you will have I don't think it will affect the market for their comics, but I do feel like it might affect them acquiring talent down the road.
Or like it's a PR nightmare.
Because it seems like the comic industry is a pretty close-knit community. And if people are pissed off that you just fired all their friends, they're they might be less likely to
take a job with you.
So I think they might lose out on some good
talent.
Creators because of that. Whether it's artists, writers,
what have
editors, whatever. Because you might get that backlash. But we're going to talk about FanDome anyways, because some pretty interesting things were released. You didn't watch The Suicide Squad.
I didn't. I asked
trailer.
you if there was something else I needed to watch.
What do you think about it, Brian? The Suicide Squad from James Gunn.
Question
Answer.
before you get going. Is it a complete just reboot? Like they're just forgetting that the first movie ever happened? Or is this like a continuation?
It kind of seems that way.
Yeah, I mean, some of the same actors and actresses.
Yeah, Margot
are in it.
Robbie is still...
Harley?
The guy that did Captain Boomerang is the same guy.
Yeah.
I think there's one... Oh, the guy that did the Colonel Flag is the same guy. But... So I don't know if they're just reprising characters or if they're different timelining it. I mean, it definitely has a far different vibe than the original.
So that's weird. Like...
Well, and what did David Ayer do before the first Suicide Squad? Anything that we would know?
Yeah, let me look it up because I know that he's done stuff because I've looked at it before.
It was based off of based off of Gunn's track record. You've got the two Guardians movies, and then I think he did Brightburn, which all three were really good. So it's kind of hard to say, I'm not looking forward to this. Plus, there's a giant shark.
Bright.
A giant shark.
Is it called Bright?
Yeah. Bright, Suicide Squad, Fury, which I didn't watch but was supposed to be good, right? End of Watch, which I still didn't watch, was supposed to be good.
Gunn or Ayer?
Ayer.
Okay.
You asked what Ayer did.
He did.
Bright was the Will Smith movie. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joel Egerton. And it was
the fairies.
Which it had a good premise, but it didn't stick the landing.
Execution was not well.
Speaking of Edgerton, we started watching It Comes at Night last night.
Watched it.
And we got like 20 minutes in and she fell asleep.
Okay. Did you see it already?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh. Let me know what you think about it. When
I'm also deliberately trying to speak slower on this podcast.
Why?
Not like I do other podcasts, but I feel like I talk very quickly. And there's a lot of likes. So I'm going to try to be a bit more eloquent and concise.
Well, just so you know,
drink.
Yeah, like, I edit out a lot of the ums and the likes.
The thought process.
Well, I'm going to make your job easier.
And I appreciate that.
There you go.
He does. I don't have to hear about it.
But no, I'm not really chomping at the bit to see the Suicide Squad, even though I like James Gunn movies.
Is this like the Facebook thing, like where they're just putting a "the" in front of it?
Drop the
Facebook.
Instagram.
So with some of these movies being released as just buy now, watch it at home, if you're going to go see a movie or you're on the fence about you were going to go see a movie like The Suicide Squad, and then you can own it for $30 outright, which would have been essentially half the price of taking your family to see it.
Like with Mulan?
Yeah. Would that be like, hey, why not?
Yeah, I would. We actually touched a little on this on the last episode, and I feel like $30 isn't that steep but I mean, if you're one person or two people going, you're like, yeah, that's a little, but as a family of four, we have a theater we like, and it's $24 for all four of us to go see a movie. Not each for the whole thing, but you add popcorn and
driving out there,
especially if it's a children's movie, and you're more than likely to buy it.
Yeah,
like why not?
No, we're gonna pay the $30 for Mulan. We're gonna have movie night. We're gonna put our phones away and just turn the lights off and look at it as if it was a going to the movies.
Yeah.
Real quick, if anybody, we're recording earlier in the day, so I'm not exhausted like I always am, and our air conditioning is on, and our dogs are fighting. So if you hear that, that's what it is. And I'm not really going to go through this and edit out all my dogs in the background,
barking and screaming. Yeah, right there.
I don't know if I'll be. I don't know if I'd pay to go see
the Suicide Squad.
We just watched. What is that movie called? With Harley Quinn.
Oh, Birds of Prey.
We just watched Birds of Prey. Did you see that?
Yes, it was way more violent than I had thought.
Oh
good.
Yeah. Well, it was.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't.
Was
good.
it better than Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's good.
Yeah,
it's going in the right direction.
Right direction.
But man, spoilers. Ewan McGregor's character, Black Mask, died very suddenly and very violently.
Yes, he did.
I don't remember. It's been
He
months.
exploded.
Yeah.
Wasn't that on the pier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now
And
I
he
remember.
exploded.
Everywhere.
But no, I enjoyed moments of that movie. It was fun. I like Margot Robbie as a character, and I like the woman from what's her name from Scott Pilgrim that plays Ramona Flowers.
Mary. Something.
From Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that Ewan McGregor left his wife for.
What?
And they had been together for a long time. Yeah, he lost 50% of his royalties to Star Wars in his divorce.
There must be something good going on, I guess.
But no, I liked the cast, but we didn't go see that either. It came out on HBO, and I'm like, oh, all right. So
yeah,
we watched it. Have you watched Lovecraft Country?
No.
It's worth a watch.
I want to watch more of that. That seemed interesting.
Well, the second episode came out today.
Oh, that's right.
Is that an HBO show?
Yeah, it's an HBO show. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's
weird.
It's kind of weird, but if you watch it, it's worth a watch. You all right?
Yeah, I'm just a little chest massage.
Okay. No, it's
like
worth
you,
a watch.
Robert. He needs to massage his slipped rib.
Yeah, but the cast of this, it's got a big cast in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there was like 20 people on that. So
Rooker, Cena.
It looks like it's going to be more fun.
You trust Marvel to put out a good movie. I know this is DC, but you trust Marvel to put out a good movie. But I liked both the Guardians movies, and you got to place a little bit of trust in James Gunn that he can deliver a product that's going to be fairly
humorous.
Well. Yeah, but like you and Christopher Nolan, you trust the director to put out a good product. You typically trust Spielberg to put. I'm not comparing James Gunn to Spielberg, but I'm just saying. Like I trust Taika Waititi to put out a good movie because I like his style.
Right.
Did you see Jojo Rabbit?
I did.
You like it?
Yes, and it was not at all what I thought it was going to be about.
How good was he as Hitler? Like, I know that sounds crazy, and at the beginning...
He's so nice and cuddly.
Yeah, the transformation is so drastic. Like, at the beginning, he's oh, what's wrong, Jojo? And he's being, like, so
personable.
nice and sweet and personal with the kid, but by the end, he's like...
Crazy person.
Oh, he's Hitler. I mean...
Yeah.
And then he gets kicked out a window.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a heartfelt... the story arc for the kid was really good. From how he felt at the beginning, and it's been a little while since I've seen the movie, to how he feels at the end because of the girl, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a good transformation.
It was.
I was very taken aback by the scene where he's wandering the city and then
finds his mom,
sees the shoes. Like, I was like, holy shit. That's
Oh, Sam Rockwell was good in that too.
Yeah,
yes,
he was.
Who was the other guy? He was the guy from Game of Thrones.
It's been a little while since I've seen it.
Creep or whatever his name is.
Reek.
Yeah, that guy.
Lily Allen's brother. I can't think of his name in real life.
Alfie Allen?
Alfie Allen, yes. Alfie Allen.
I got a name!
Yeah.
Look at me.
But Sam Rockwell, when he's doing that thing where he knows they're all going to get shot, and he
sends them out.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's like, get away from me, whatever.
Dirty Jew.
Yep.
That was good. I like Sam Rockwell in just about anything. He is so good.
He plays Evan in that movie Parker wants to watch.
What movie does he want to watch?
The Lonely Evan.
Ivan?
Ivan, there you go.
The one and only Ivan?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the voice of Ivan.
Okay. All right.
It's one of those fun.
It's on my radar.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad.
I wouldn't go see it in theaters, but I'll watch it when it comes out. Now, The Batman.
What a vibe, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pattinson and other stuff besides, yes, I've seen the first 2 Twilight movies and Harry Potter.
The King. We watched that. But I don't think you made it that far.
No, I didn't. I've seen him. Oh, yeah, I woke up and I was like, Robert Pattinson's in this.
Yes, he is.
But I know from The Lighthouse, is that what it's called? With him and
Defoe.
That he's taken on quite a few dramatic, serious roles, and he's
done
typically looked at well in those roles. I know that he does a fairly good job. So I wasn't upset with the casting. I know some people will only remember him from Twilight, and they're like, oh, why is this guy in this, in this movie? But I don't have a problem with him. He's got the big square jaw that you want to see in a superhero, and he has the acting chops to take care of it.
Okay. That's fair.
At least that's kind of how I feel.
My roommate did that. He came in and just started teasing Bree and I about, Twilight 5. I'm like, I don't care, man.
No.
Like actors,
it's called
people,
acting.
yeah,
they got
and
paid
they change,
for a job.
They get better.
Well, especially because once you get more well established, you have more control over the roles that you take. You can turn down stuff. When you're younger, you're like, when you're first coming up,
you're taking whatever you can get.
Exactly, whatever you can get.
Right.
But they said this is going to be year 2 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only been on the job for a very short time.
He's still green.
Still a little bit green. I think when you're younger, you have a bit more of a temper, too, I guess you would say.
Well, if it's anything like that,
the trailer?
That trailer showed, then yes, he has a very violent temper. That
was violent.
He fucked that guy up.
Yeah. I heard, and I don't know how accurate this is, that they've only finished a quarter of shooting before COVID stopped production. And I believe production is supposed to start up again either this month or next month in London.
Well, it's not even coming out until next year, right?
2021.
Yeah.
So probably Memorial Day.
I think it's
some big holiday.
No, it's
kick off the summer.
October.
Oh, geez.
That makes sense.
So they're going to wait for holiday season.
But I am definitely interested in seeing that, and that might be. I mean, we're hopefully by next October we'll be able to go to the movies.
We'll see.
So, quick reminder. Please vote.
Yeah.
So I can go to the movies.
Yes, vote.
I don't think that's the only reason why you want people to vote, but
vote.
Okay.
It's part of it. Anyway.
Vote.
Reeves has quite an impressive track listing. He did the last 2 Planet of the Apes movies.
I never saw the last one.
So, did you see the first 2?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them? Yeah. Okay. So, more of the same.
Was the third one more of the second one? Because the first one was completely different than the second one, obviously, because the world hadn't ended.
Yeah. No, the third one... It was. I felt like it was slower paced because there was some.
I really like Woody
one area, but he was in it. I mean, they're good movies. He also did Cloverfield.
Okay.
And he did Let Me In.
I didn't see that.
That was good.
Was that with
Chloe Grace Moretz and the kid that was it the kid that played Nightcrawler?
Is that the remake?
Movies? Yes.
Of the Swedish movie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's on the list. We're making a list of
for October
of horror and thriller movies that we haven't seen yet. For October,
because we probably need to see short ones. We can probably put those in during the week if we can be.
Yeah, I agree. Because
proactive.
2 years ago, we watched like 25.
We did
scary movies and thriller movies, and then last year we kind of shit all over that. But
I don't remember why, but
I don't know.
Life is stupid. It gets busy.
But yeah, this Batman movie we've got.
You're excited about it?
We've got, what's the guy's name from There Will Be Blood, whose name I can never
Paul Dano.
Okay, he is the Riddler, correct? Mm-hmm. And Colin Farrell's
Penguin.
Not
Colin Farrell.
Yes.
Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell. He's Irish.
What is the other Colin from Kingsman?
Firth.
Thank
you.
There you go. They knew they both started with an F, and I interchanged their names.
The Colin Fs.
Colin F is Penguin, and who else do we have? Do we know?
Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman.
I like Is she
that.
really?
And the guy from Westworld, who also played Isaac in The Last of Us Part 2, is Commissioner Gordon. Andy Serkis is Alfred.
Okay. Is he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll be a good Alfred.
Neat.
I think of that guy that's playing Gordon as the guy from Casino Royale. Wasn't he in Casino Royale? He's playing poker. He was the American CIA.
Yes, that's who he was talking about. Yeah.
I've never seen Westworld, so.
Me neither. But you just know he's in it.
I just know he's in it.
He was in Hunger Games too.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in the second one at least.
I only watched the first 2 of those. That's another thing where I was like, I want to see what the hype's about, and I liked the first Hunger Games movie. I liked the first Twilight movie when I saw it, to be honest. And then I'm just kind of like, I don't want to keep watching these. I haven't seen a Fast.
You must really like Hamilton then.
Yeah. I just watched the first quarter of it yesterday, but it had been like 15 days since I've watched it.
Last watched it. It had been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was overdue.
Yeah, I'm well overdue. But now
do you still listen to it at work?
Yes, I still listen to it.
We were just talking about the different actors and actresses
that were in it. Andy Serkis is Alfred.
I like that. I like Andy Serkis.
I do too.
But the whole, if you listen to what Dano is saying, assuming Dano is speaking as the Riddler, like he's telling him essentially a riddle over the course of the trailer, that loud booping voice. Man, it just, the whole vibe just looks different. But yeah, the temper that you speak of in the scene where the guy's like, "Who the hell are you trying to be?" And oh god, and then he gets him on the ground and hits him a couple more times, and then he has the line. He has the "I am vengeance" line.
People need to attack Batman more than one at a time. I know it's a movie trope, and it's like it's a trope that you have to overlook because
of attack.
If there were 10 of us and we attacked one person at the same time, you're
going
to beat
down.
that person's ass.
Well, I mean, if we extrapolate that to some of the more aggressive active shooter drills, it's like, hey, rush him. After 2 or 3 people and the fight's over. Now, obviously, there's some pretty dire consequences to that, but that is part of the training.
Yeah.
So, assuming that the person is not trained like Batman, then sure.
You'll be fine.
That will be a movie I'd like to see in theaters. And how do you feel about him being Batman and Affleck being Batman at the same time? Because they just said that Affleck's going to be in a Flash movie.
Did you see the Flash art?
No.
That it was the guy, I don't know, what's the guy's name that played Flash in
Ezra
Justice
Miller?
League? Ezra Miller in a new Flash costume, and then it had Keaton's Batman in the back.
Nice. Well, I heard that he was officially cast again, right?
He's going to be, I think, like old Batman.
Yeah.
So they're going to
old Batman,
I'm
new
okay
Batman,
with. I'm okay.
Middle-aged Batman.
It's more Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And you hope it's good. You hope it's not a Schumacher.
And Affleck isn't the worst choice. Do you know he died?
Who?
Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
And Affleck, he's not the worst choice.
No.
He would have been a really good solo Batman. I
didn't have a problem with him as Batman, and I really didn't have a problem with him as Bruce Wayne. I felt he played a good kind of a suave, kind of older,
middle-aged.
Yeah, I liked his Bruce Wayne a lot.
If this Batman movie is successful, and I know that there's been some details on what they will or won't do, do you ever feel they would combine this with Joker?
I don't know. There's Pattinson on TV right now.
And the guy from Spy Kids.
I really liked. You can say what you want about the movie, but Joaquin Phoenix was so good in that role. He was so good, and I know some people are uncomfortable with it, and I think that says something about the movie and his ability.
Well, that's
as an actor.
It's the ability to spark conversation around a touchy subject people don't want to talk about.
I think, and it's not just me because he won an Oscar for it, I think he was equally as good as Heath Ledger, but in a different way. I know we've talked about this before.
From an acting standpoint, they're both
I feel like they
fantastic.
both disappeared in the roles. And I think about our conversation we had a lot, and I think why you didn't feel the same was because you come in seeing Heath Ledger as the Joker and you never see him as a person.
Yeah, it's the makeup.
Yeah. I think if you would have seen Joaquin Phoenix as only the Joker and not as Arthur Fleck, was that his name?
Yes.
It would have been the same results. But I would be okay with that. I think that's an interesting way to go. I'm looking forward to this Batman movie because it's obviously, the Schumacher movies did he do 2?
He did both. He did Forever and Batman.
So
and
he did
Robin.
Clooney and Kilmer?
Yes.
So obviously both of those were very different than Tim Burton's.
Yes.
And then obviously Nolan's were very different.
They're very, it's a tonal subject. So, the way Tim Burton went at it, it was dark and creepy.
It was Tim Burton.
It was, So any kind of offshoot for that series is going to be different when you take a different tonal approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this one looks like it's going to be dark and violent and maybe in your face a little bit,
Right, which Nolan didn't do. He was more
subtle,
polished.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good description.
It was a very polished series as opposed to dark and gritty.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the dark and gritty. Is it still did that ring true? Was it his bat symbol is made from the gun that killed his parents?
I read that a while back.
Yeah. I think that's just, if it doesn't get it doesn't get much darker and grittier than that.
I like how they left his eye makeup on.
Yeah,
like that was like similar to when Ledger had them leave the white on his hands because he was doing his own paint.
Yeah. That's Naughty Dog level shit.
I want to play.
I didn't do this, but I saw a thing that said if you crawl on the ground enough as Ellie, her the backs of her arms get scraped up and bleed.
That's incredible,
right? I mean, just little details like that.
Environmental impact.
Shit. I've almost turned it on a couple more times because I want to play a few more levels. Go back.
Get some coins.
Anthony
some
was
cards.
like, "Oh yeah, I only have one chapter left, and then the farm." And I'm telling him, like, "Oh, it goes on for a while after that, man."
That's the thing. You can't. You just have to let him
experience
just ride
it.
Well, I told him, I said, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I was like, but those walkthroughs where you look at the chapters, they're not quite accurate because you can look and it says, "Oh, you have this many chapters as Ellie, this many chapters as Abby," but it doesn't tell you. And he knew about the farm, but it doesn't tell you. And I didn't tell him about Santa Barbara and that. So
so he's playing as Abby right now.
Yeah,
got it. Okay, yeah, that threw me off a bit.
Yeah, that. Anyways, what's funny is I watched some of the Gotham Knight. Was it gameplay?
It wasn't. Yes,
it was.
Yeah, the last half of the trailer was gameplay, and then they released an 8-minute gameplay video.
Okay.
Which
did they put a release date on that? I know it's next
year.
Okay.
It's both this gen and next gen.
Okay.
So it'll be out next year.
When they do port it?
They just make it for both and then upgrade it. I mean, it seems like it's a native PS4 Xbox One game, then they'll just add upgrades. Whereas we'll get to this later, but as the Kill the Justice League is purely next gen. That's in 2 years.
We'll get to that because I'm more excited about that than I am the other ones. I've been playing the Avengers beta from Square Enix. The Parker told me to play it. It's really fun. It's just fun. Like, it's just smash them, like, kind of like the
Melee.
The fighting was for Final Fantasy. It is a Square Enix game, but you have that thing where there's people around you and you're running around and you have different attacks and stuff, and it's really fun. You start as Thor, then you play as Iron Man, then you play as Hulk, and then Cap, and then Black Widow.
Okay. Is it similar? Is it as similar to Final Fantasy, or is it more?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Because I don't know anything about leveling up or anything like that, or if you do. But
is it more of the third person over the shoulder running around, but the camera stays behind your character?
No, you can face the camera as your character, and it'll still be in that spot.
Can you? But you don't fight that way. You're still like behind the guy fighting when you're running.
No, you
around.
could turn any way you want. The camera stays
third person.
I mean, I think you can rotate the camera with the left analog stick. So yeah, I mean, okay. It looks like it's gonna be fun. I know people were like, "Oh, they look stupid." What do you want them to look like? Exactly like they do in the movies?
I think
I want to control the person.
I think they did change the facial features.
Did they? Because
I think they
don't look anything like the
actors.
So
I think they changed because some of the backlash initially was that it just looked kind of meh in the alpha or pre-alpha footage, but they might have changed the character models. That one's not on my radar. I don't even know when it comes out.
I don't either.
Let me know how it is.
It's fun. I don't know if I'll get it. My next game will definitely be Cyberpunk. But as far as being excited for a game, I'm way more excited about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League than I am about Gotham Knights. For a split second, I was like, "Oh, Katrina and I could play Gotham Knights together because it's co-op." But you don't particularly like playing those kind of games, which is fine.
Okay.
What do you want to play it?
I don't know anything about it, so.
It's from Rocksteady, correct?
Yes.
So it's like the Batman games.
Okay.
But you play as it's Batgirl. Go ahead.
So it's Harley Quinn, a shark. I don't know their name.
No, we're talking about Gotham Knights.
Oh, Gotham Knights. So that's not Rocksteady though.
Oh, it's not.
No, Rocksteady is Kill the Justice League. That's the Suicide Squad game.
Okay. Yes, I'm more.
Gotham Knights is Warner Brothers Montreal, which is the same company that made Arkham Origins.
That's the only one I didn't play.
Yeah, I
was
liked
fine.
it. It wasn't as tight as the Rocksteady games, but I enjoyed the character models quite a bit more. So it's up to two player co-op, and you can play as Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, Tim Drake Robin, or the Red Hood.
Is it like Shaun of the Dead where I could just drop out and not play anymore? Or
I don't know.
I think so. It looked like you could drop in and out pretty freely.
But Batman's dead in this game, right?
He is. Yes,
Quote,
he is.
Air quotes.
Yes, he is dead. Quoting.
Like Superman was dead in Justice League.
Yeah,
and he comes out of the closet.
Because they said that it may not end like that, and I'm going to assume that it won't. But I will say the world looked far larger in scope than Arkham Knight did. Because if you played Arkham Knight, the streets were very narrow. Like it didn't seem large. This one seemed very big. Like it looks like the scope is a lot larger. There's a lot more vertical space. The gameplay showed Batgirl and Robin infiltrating a tower that Mr. Freeze had frozen over. Mm-hmm. It looked fun enough.
I didn't watch that far. I watched maybe 3 to 5 minutes.
It's the same as stuff you've done before. There's nothing different. It does have a bit more, like Mr. Freeze had a health bar.
Okay.
So you're beating it down that way. It's definitely something I'll play day one.
I fought Taskmaster in the Avengers game.
That makes me want to watch Black Widow because he's the villain.
Yeah, it was really fun. Because as you're fighting him, he's getting more difficult.
He learns, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember the Mr. Freeze fight in Arkham City that did that?
It was very good.
It was so fun.
It was very good.
So,
although, we can go old school. Super Mario RPG, when you fight, it starts with a Y. It's in Rose. No, it's not. It's the bow and arrow guy. You fight him in Rosewood, I think it is.
It's like the third boss, right?
Yeah.
After Balome.
Yeah, and when you fight him,
he shoots the arrow or the
if
buttons.
You use something too much, whatever you use more, he shoots it and you can't use it.
We were packing stuff up, and I have my SNES Classic in its case, and I told Briando this game has RPG. She's like, "Oh, do you have it?" I'm like, "Only here, but if they put it on the Switch, I would drop everything and play it right now."
I played it on the Wii U.
That's so fun.
And I played through the whole game on there.
You did.
I'm far more excited for the Suicide Squad game than I am for Gotham Knights, only because how often you get to play as the bad guys? It's not a game that it's not
the DC villains Lego game.
Joel, I guess, depending on how you fall in line with that. I mean, I think that's part of the discussion for that game, and that's what makes it more interesting. But I'm far more excited about that and the idea of playing as anybody from that, whether it's Killer Shark, is that what his name is?
I don't know his name.
No, it's Killer Croc, so it's King Shark.
King Shark, yes.
Or Harley Quinn or
Deadshot and Captain Boomerang.
So those all, I mean, it'll be fun. Obviously, something's wrong with Superman.
And it's more than likely he's affected by Brainiac, because that's Brainiac's ship in the trailer.
But I'm excited about that. As excited as you can be for a game that comes out in like 2 years. So I'm like, it's on the radar, but it's not like, I can't wait for this to come out.
It's not Final Fantasy Part 2.
Which it could literally be. It's not going to be, but as of right now, it could be another 17 years or whatever. It's not going to be, obviously. I'm hoping it's in less than 2 years.
I'd say 2022.
Well,
maybe 2023.
As slow as time is going right now, that is in 17 years.
Very true.
Have you ever thought of something that you've looked forward to for so long, and then you blink and it was like...
It's over.
Like, I remember waiting for
everything.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Or like Endgame.
It was 8 years ago. Yeah, or Endgame, and it's already been a year and a half. And like, well, that's gone.
The last time... I was excited when I watched Endgame, and I wasn't upset when it was over. When the last Harry Potter movie ended, and they had been coming out basically once a year for that long. Mm-hmm. I know there was a gap for...
a couple years.
A couple in there, but I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I
had been binging Big Bang on HBO Max, and after 24 episodes, 12 seasons, I felt that at the end. I finished it, and I was like, I don't know what to watch now. I'm going to sit in the silence.
I won't even watch the last episode of Parks and Rec or Scrubs anymore. I will on The Office, and I don't know why that is, but on the other two, I'm like, no, let's just start another series. What's nice is I feel like once we finish Superstore, that'll be another show you can add to the list of things you put on to fall asleep to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think that's fair.
Do you have any shows you fall asleep to?
I did before I took the TV out of my room. Mm-hmm. So it was Parks and Rec or The Office. Yeah. And it's, one reason, because they're both on Netflix. Yeah. So that was easy because it shuts off and I'd set a sleep timer. But
that's what we do.
Yeah, I took the TV out. So I wouldn't do that anymore.
Why?
I just didn't find it. I wouldn't fall asleep.
Oh, then yeah.
I would just stay awake, and this isn't
we
working.
started with just thunderstorms or white noise on the Echo, and then I would fall asleep out here so easy to the office that we got a TV to put it in the room. And if it had stopped working, I would do the same thing. But as of right now, it's working, so I'm gonna
keep going with that.
Advantage of it.
I tried to put on Flight of the Conchords one time, and he's like, "No," he's like, "I just want to watch it, so you need to turn it off."
Yeah. It's a good show.
It has to be a show where he'll actually go to sleep.
I think I agree with you that I'm more excited about the Rocksteady game just because of their track record.
Yeah.
They made 3 games, and all 3 of them were fantastic. I enjoyed Arkham Origins. Like I said, it wasn't as sharp as the other series, but I enjoy the storyline. It's basically Black Mask is putting out contracts for assassins to kill Batman. And so the game is through the story, you take care of them one at a time. And some of the battles were very good. But about halfway through, you find out that the Joker is Black Mask. Okay. And you've never met the Joker before. And Troy Baker, so this is like 6 months into him being Batman, so he's far more armored, right? Because he's not as skilled. Troy Baker plays Joker, the same guy that did Joel. And he does a Mark Hamill version, and it's almost flawless. It's fantastic. So I enjoyed that one quite a bit. So I do want to play Gotham Knights, but the Suicide Squad, based on Rocksteady's track record, is higher on the list. Higher on the list.
What are the big games coming out next year? I can't think of anything. I just know I want to play Cyberpunk.
Well, Halo Infinite, because it looks so terrible.
That's a hard hit for them for launch, because that was supposed to be a launch title, and now it's not, and it's like, well, shit.
I can't think of anything I can't think of any game that I would buy one of those consoles for outright now. I did decide that if I do buy one, the game has to be native. So like Gotham Knights will be available on both consoles, like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. So I'm not going to buy that for that. I'd rather just keep mine. But like Suicide Squad, that would be a console seller.
If you were like, hey, Last of Us 3 is coming out, I'd be like, well, I'm buying a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. I already set the money aside. I'm just waiting.
But for me, PlayStation 3 I bought at launch. PlayStation 4 I waited a year. I waited till Black Friday the next year because it came with extra stuff.
That was 2014?
Yeah. It came
2015?
It came with Last of Us Remastered, and it came with GTA 5.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I'm like, well, it came with stuff, so I waited. I didn't
Assassin's Creed still making movies? Or
games? Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing Valhalla, which is...
they are.
And I after playing The Last of Us, I tried playing Assassin's Creed Origins. I played it for like 2 hours, and I said, nope. And remember how you've talked about we're at a stage in our life where we can spend $20, $40, $60 on a game, and if we don't like it, it's not the end of the world.
Luckily.
I bought it, it is a fortunate situation. So I spent $20 on the complete edition of Origins, played it, and I said, you know what? I just can't put my time into this series anymore. It just doesn't seem the quality is something I'm willing to put the time into. Yeah. So I just stopped. But that's good. I think it makes me more picky.
Yeah, mine's not money anymore. It's like I'm bad at self-care. Like, I need to take time for myself. Shut up.
I'm very proud of you.
And this year has given me a little bit of extra time to do that. You know, you had Animal Crossing, even though you're kind of playing it sporadically now.
Yeah. That's not by choice, though.
I did Final Fantasy and then God of War and then Last of Us with 3 very good games. And I remember how nice it is to be able to, although Last of Us was kind of hard to check out mentally on, how nice it is to just check out reality and play a game. You know what I mean? A game that's there just for fun. And minus the Dark Elves and God of War, I had fun on all those games.
Resident Evil 8.
Lord
of the Rings Gollum.
A game?
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
I'm out on Resident Evil.
Oh, man. 7 was... it's first person, but I love 7. That was my game of the year in 2017.
Really?
Oh, it was... I played that thing
GTA 5?
That's already been out.
That's going to get re-released.
Meh.
Oh, wait. What about
Far
Spider-Man?
Cry 6.
Spider-Man's on the list.
Is that... Well, if that's... Is that next year or this year?
It's a release title.
Is that a system seller for you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say... Like, Horizon and Spider-Man aren't system sellers for me. God of War would be.
If it was... I don't know. I really like this last Spider-Man game. It's the same people making it.
What's it called?
Just Miles Morales.
Okay.
We watched this movie. I don't want to... We got to end soon because I got another podcast to record right after this.
Yeah, like 5 minutes.
Yeah. We watched this movie with Aubrey Plaza. And,
we did.
what's his Duplass? I can't think of his first name.
Mark
Duplass.
Mark
The guy from
Duplass.
the League.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've paid attention to his career post League. He
did Creep.
He does small budget independent movies.
Mm-hmm.
And this one came out in 2012. It was called Can't Guarantee Your Safety, or Safety Not Guaranteed.
Safety Not Guaranteed.
And
They're like going. He wants to go to the future or something.
he wants to go back in time.
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
I did, but I don't remember it.
It was like I was reading the synopsis on it, and then there was a quip on it that said it's one of the most influential movies in the last 10 years. And I go, why? Well, it's because it was only made for $750,000, and it only made $4.5 million. But I've heard him talk in interviews about how small budget movies like that, you can make whatever you want and nobody will bother you. So he just gets the money for these small movies and he makes whatever he wants. And it had a lot of people in it. It had Duplass in it. It had Plaza in it. It had Jake Johnson in it. It had a couple more people I recognized, but it was an interesting, weird movie, and
It wasn't a big cast.
I enjoyed it. It was
strange.
It was strange.
It's a good description.
Yeah.
I watched a movie with Aubrey Plaza and Caitlin Olsen, the Scarlet Witch.
Okay, I don't think her name is it. Kate? It's not Caitlin.
Mary Kate Ashley.
Those are two of them.
I know those are the two of them. I can't remember her other one. Anyway. Ingrid Goes West. It was Aubrey Plaza and her.
Isn't that a book?
I don't know, but that was a really good
Elizabeth
movie.
Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen. I like that. Was strange also.
We watched Power Project. Was Power Project?
Power Project.
Power Project on Netflix last night.
Is that the
Jamie
one?
Foxx?
How was it?
The ending was not good.
No.
Okay.
But it was entertaining to watch. The first half was entertaining to watch.
Yes.
Do you know the premise?
Something about like you can have superpowers for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. You take a drug. It's like, and one of the outcomes can be you explode and die. But the other ones are like they're one with fire. There's like super speed. They're like all kinds of things. And it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it as well.
Okay.
The first half of it I actually enjoyed.
I did too.
But it's like,
and then it went off the rails.
Yeah, that movie it seems like it got cut so much that it seemed to cut the part out where you were supposed to care about any characters. So you're just like,
you have these people just running around trying to do things, and you're like, okay, that's nice.
Netflix has been coming out with some pretty good self ones. The one with Chris Hemsworth, Extraction.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that.
You watched that.
And then I don't know if you two watched it. I don't remember the name, with Charlize Theron.
The Old Guard?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but that's on
It's
the
on the
list.
list.
Of things to watch.
I like that
I'm
one
not big
quite
on
a bit,
her,
too.
but that's supposed to be pretty good. It's a comic book movie.
She's a good actress. Like, I'll watch movies that she's in, but she's just not one of my favorites.
Do you know what it's about?
No.
Okay, just go in and don't read it. How much time do we have?
Oh, we're going to cut out here. You have
Soon.
something you want to talk about?
Well, there's like just a few quick hits, like quick little things.
Like
First,
Justice League being 4 1-hour episodes?
So that's one thing. This footage, there was a lot of new footage in that trailer. So I will watch that. You?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Except it's on HBO Max, right?
Yes.
So we pay for HBO,
Mm-hmm.
but we do not get HBO Max because all of our stuff is through Roku, and Roku doesn't have a deal with HBO Max yet. Neither does Amazon Fire.
Yeah. My TV was able to download HBO Max, so I took my Fire Stick out and just started streaming through the TV to get that.
We don't have our TV's old.
Our TV's really old.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman trailer, you haven't watched it
I
yet?
haven't watched it yet.
Pretty cool.
Did they change it?
This
is another trailer.
It's another trailer, but it has good looks at Kristen Wiig as Cheetah.
Okay.
It looks pretty exciting. Oh, there was more stuff.
Whenever it gets to come out.
God, there was more stuff I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And he's done.
There was like 2 other topics, and I don't remember.
You'll think of
what
them
they
later,
were.
and you'll text me.
I will. And I wish I
And
could
that's
think
okay.
of them now. Batman, Wonder Woman, Justice League, video games. That's it. I can't think of anything else.
Well, that'll be this episode. We're going to record another one right after this, but it won't sound like that because we're stopping. So I'll lie to you all and say this is another episode, just like I do at the beginning of every other episode. Brian's head is going to explode. That's this episode. We'll be back shortly.